Hello and welcome to another episode of the Screen Chronicles. I'm Steve. With me as always is Colby. How are you doing today, Colby?
Good. You got the pronunciation perfect, by the way. Thank you very much for.
I was wondering with the asterisks, right there, if I could get it, but I think I got it.
No, you definitely got it. You definitely got it. Yes. So, welcome to the Screen Chronicles. Welcome to the Screen Chronicles, everyone. Today we are covering the final two episodes of the first season of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
So we're talking about the last two episodes of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier today. But before we get into that, we're going to give you a spoiler-free review of the full season here. Now that we've seen the whole season, apparently it seems like it might be another season. So this is the first season of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Generally, what did you think about it, Colby?
It was good. It was good. I gotta say, just going into it and comparing WandaVision, my expectations for WandaVision were pretty mediocre, and it far exceeded my expectations. WandaVision. Mm-hmm. For The Falcon and Winter Soldier, I gotta say, my expectations were really high, and I'm not sure it totally met my expectations. Was it a good show? Absolutely, it was a good show. I can't say that I absolutely fell in love with it like I was hoping to.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And we are staying spoiler free here. So we're not going to get into it. We'll talk more when we talk about the last two episodes here. But I liked it. I think if you are an MCU fan, you should watch it. If you're a fan of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier characters, you should watch it. It's not
absolutely
bad in any way. And I think they do a lot of things right, and it's cool.
Yeah,
and
I think they send a lot of great messages.
And it's, I guess you could say some of it's heavy-handed, but I don't think it's done in a way that makes anyone else look bad or or should be divisive in any way. At least I don't think so.
Right.
I would have to say though that without getting into spoilers here, we'll talk more when we get into it. The action in it at times was great, especially the first episode. If you listen to our talk on that, I thought it was pretty awesome. And I was like, oh, here we go. I'd say the rest of the show there was action, but nothing was like, oh, wow, that was. I remember the first time I was watching the Winter Soldier movie, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Yeah. And the action, it was so like, oh, wow, this is different and cool. It's super soldier level of superhero punching and kicking, and but it still felt grounded and real and gritty. This one, but it also was technically interesting to watch. There was cool a progression of the fight. This one, I just say there would be action at times, and even if the story was cool, the fact that these two people were confronting, technically, I didn't see anything. Any of these fights, I was like, oh, wow, I remember that fight for this or that.
Right.
Like how
I would agree.
You talk about, you love the knife with Sebastian Stan as the Winter Soldier when he's fighting Cap. Or I really love the shot too when just the metal arm comes down on the shield and Cap suplexes him and the knife through the car door. There's so many little cool set piece moments in that fight that make you remember that fight. I can only think of one moment in any of the fights where I was like, oh, that was a pretty crazy thing that happened. The rest of them were just like characters fight. And it didn't look bad. It just, there wasn't anything that made you go, oh, damn.
Yeah. I think, too, we mentioned about how Marvel's kind of going into making shows now, right? And where this one kind of felt like a movie that was split up into 6 episodes to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree, but remember with WandaVision, how every week we were left with so much guessing about what was going to happen and so much predicting? I didn't so much feel like that with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I didn't feel like the cliffhangers were as intense as that had me thinking about it all week long. A couple times it kind of had to be like, oh yeah, it's on tonight,
Yeah.
By the time I got to Friday, and I was excited that it was on because I did enjoy the show, but that's what I mean. It didn't really feel like it was made like they thought about okay, let's leave them here this week so that, they're left pondering this topic,
I
and
don't
then
think
we'll
it
reveal it.
justified a weekly release. I don't think it did.
Right. I think it could have been all released at once, and that would have been fine.
Or it could have been a movie. I think this would have been fine
movie.
as a movie too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm with you there. I think, like you said, WandaVision, I think had to be a weekly release for it to get the impact that it did.
Yes.
But this one it could have been a movie. Could have been binge. I think this is where we're going to see that, these subscription places are going to just try and hold on to their subscribers by stringing out a show so that you have to stay paying that bill. And it did go up this month. Disney Plus did go up at like $1 or so.
Yes.
So I see what you're doing, you sneaky.
You're just going to do that $1.
So that's definitely why that was. It was good. It's not a show that I would probably even peak into my top 5, top 10. Even though like the Winter Soldier movie, I kept referencing that superhero movie is probably easily in my top 10 like superhero movies, if not my top 10 like action movies or favorite movies. I don't know. It moves around.
Yeah.
So this one, I'm just kind of like, I have no desire to like go back and watch this show other than when season 2 comes out, if there is one. I know what happens, and there wasn't anything too crazy in it. And Daredevil, for instance, on Netflix had way better action. I would say, even though I'd say they didn't have nearly the budget that this show did.
Right.
And the characters were people that you were really gritty and stretched out and warranted a lengthy show. And I didn't get it with this one, and it sounds like I'm ragging on it, but I did enjoy it. Just overall, if I had to give it like a letter grade, it would be like a B.
Give it a number grade out of 10.
Number grade, I'm going like 7.8.
I was going 7. I'm going flat 7. I'm going flat 7 on it. Right, 7 out of 10 is not a bad score.
That ain't bad.
Not a bad score. But we'll talk into the spoiler talk. I think that the show had to divert some things at the last minute. It had to kind of backtrack on some original plot. And I think that kind of took away from some of the storylines of some of the villains in this.
Let's get into spoiler talk here then.
Definitely. So where we left off from the previous episode, we're talking episode 5 right now. At the end of the last episode, and I will say, I just said there wasn't a lot that left you hanging week to week. This one did leave me hanging because we ended with John Walker murdering the guy who didn't kill his friend, but
he was a flag smasher. He was
a flag smasher
with it.
Right. And so this episode starts off with John Walker like running away, like dazed and like kind of in shock of the whole situation. He's still got the blood on his shield. This is like immediately after that happened.
He gets chased down then by Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and they don't even give their condolences for I know. And
they're just gonna go in there, kick his ass.
They're just ready to kick his ass. And that's the one thing too I don't get in this episode too. He ends up getting cut away from being Captain America. They basically take the title away from him, and he loses the shield here, so he's not Captain America essentially.
Right.
But
he's like in this interaction, they're kind of like, you got to give us a shield. Like,
yeah, they're being pretty calm about like, hey, you got to. They're not giving him another option though. They're not saying like, hey, like you can do this. It's like, give us a shield. And
John Walker is like wants to hold on to that shield.
Yeah.
This is where like he is like, I am Captain America.
Exactly. I have to say though, I don't know if they're just, it's probably because he killed this another American in public and all this stuff. We talked about it in the last one, right? I still don't get like why he would be stripped of his title for that, I guess, because Cap killed people in World War II all the time. Even the Falcon has been killing people. He kicked them out of helicopters. In this show, he shot people in the other ones. So
So this is why I thought that they had that whole scene in episode 4 with that guy saying that my grandfather fought in World War II and that, I was a Captain America fan, because I thought they were going to do a whole like news montage saying like, American citizen, descendant of a veteran
Yeah.
murdered by Captain America. And it was going to be the media that really drove him out of being this guy.
Yeah.
You know,
And I guess we just have to maybe assume that, because they show us people recorded it and then things are happening. That's just, maybe they're just like, well, this is how the world works, so you should just know that that's what happened,
Right.
But they didn't want to maybe satire either extreme news station, that we have that kind of controls narratives. So
could be.
maybe that's why. I don't know. Either way, though, I'm just
I
like,
guess. I don't
if you
know.
killed Colby, I'm gonna bludgeon you to death with this plant right here.
What was the point then? Because I thought that was the reason why they had everybody's cell phones out at the end, because they're going to have a whole news thing and showing it on the news. They do it all the time in Marvel with, you see it all the time, showing the Avengers screwing up and how the news makes it look really bad for them.
Yeah.
It's happened several times.
Anyway, back to the warehouse. They say, give us a shield. You have to. No choice. And they start to fight. And this is what I mean. This fight was pretty to me. It's pretty
Okay.
There was parts that were cool. There was parts.
So the very first thing, though, that I noticed was that he just kicked Falcon away so easily, which I was like, okay, that seems accurate, because you have two super soldiers going head to head right now. Like, Sam Wilson honestly shouldn't be able to compete right now.
Hand to hand, no.
Hand to hand.
Without using his wings,
the suit and he uses his wings, he can compete to an extent. He still loses his one-on-one battle, but for a second.
Yeah.
But he I like that they showed him kind of getting kicked away. The thing is that John Walker kind of gives it to Bucky a little bit.
I know. I was like, what?
I don't want to take anything away from John Walker, though, because we talked about this the other day. John Walker is like the best of the U.S. military, and now he's got super soldier serum. So he's now got the same strength as Bucky and like modern training.
Yeah.
So I guess, and Bucky's also, again, Bucky is not the Winter Soldier. He's tame. He's not the same fighter he was. That's just, it's a sad, I don't like to admit it, but it's true. And the end of the season really confirmed that for me, as I don't think he has it in him anymore. But so I can buy that John Walker is able to beat him, especially since Bucky won't use that freaking arm.
Yeah, why?
Yeah. So John Walker kicks him, and the arm hits something, and the arm starts to spark a little bit. You remember that?
Yeah.
I thought, I got my hopes up. I can't get my hopes up like this. I thought for a second, dude, I was like, oh, what if Wakanda, who made this vibranium arm, made the same kinetic energy feature that the Black Panther suit had?
Ooh, damn.
And that he just got it rammed, and now he's got all that power in that left hook of his, But no, it was just short. It's just a short in the arm.
Yeah, it just kind of.
That's what I mean. My hopes up.
And why wasn't Bucky able to pretty much kick his ass? Again, you said he's not the Winter Soldier. He's basically he's got his claws taken out essentially.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, super soldier, got a metal arm, has fought Captain America.
Arm. I know.
And vibranium, not just metal either. This is like what you say, Black Panther suit.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the therapy he's gone under, the therapy he went into Wakanda that just made him more tame and less aggressive. But because even when he wasn't Winter Soldier in Civil War, he was still so badass. Mm-hmm. He was still going up against Iron Man.
That scene where he's just trying to rip out the arc reactor from his chest is just so badass. When him and Steve are teaming
now
up.
And it just felt like he got his butt kicked a lot this season. We'll get into the last episode too, but anyway.
Yeah, and but there is some cool parts. Again, nothing extremely stood out to me in it, though. I can't be like, oh, I remember when that happened. it was just generally some cool beats. They usually ended up, what they did was they would like lay Bucky out for a little bit, and then they'd low it. Then Falcon would come in. Then they'd lay him out for a bit, and then Bucky would come back in.
Yeah.
And that was then again too. I was just like, he's able to fight both of them off, though. You know what I mean? And eventually, though, when they do team up, that's how they win. Though,
well,
is when
what happens is that Bucky comes back, and Bucky pretty much picks up John Walker, and John Walker is actually going ham. He's going ham on Falcon. Falcon does some pretty cool moves with his wings. He's competing a little bit, but at the end of the day, John Walker grabs him and rips his wings off. Now that was pretty cool.
That was pretty awesome.
That was pretty cool, right? And then it looks like John Walker is going to do his trademark. He's trying to trademark his kill shot here. Shield over the head to kill Sam Wilson. He's going to freaking murder him the same way. And Bucky comes in and saves Sam, right?
Yeah.
And then Bucky's fighting, and Bucky like picks up John Walker after a minute. And Sam like uses his jets to Super Soldier Slam.
Super Soldier Slam. The event of the summer.
We've done that bit.
3 super soldiers fighting together here now. 1 winged, 2 juiced up. 1's got a vibranium arm. It's a Super Soldier Slam of the summer.
It's gonna be 2-on-1 in the ring, brother.
2-on-1 in the ring, brother. Kids get in free.
We did that bit at the end of our previous episode, and this scene obviously in the beginning of this one, because that was the most WWE sort of wrestling fight move we've seen, with like Bucky picking him up and Falcon like blasting into him.
Yeah, it
was like such a WWE.
You're right.
Move.
That was pretty
awesome. It was cool.
There was a bunch of badass moments.
They also broke his arm. They broke John Walker's arm.
Now this was sweet when they pin him like up against, I don't know if it was like a forklift or something they're in, and they just show like his face like right in front of Bucky, just staring at each other, just like feral dogs, and then Sam just breaks his arm as they're pushing the other way. Oh my God, was that awesome. And again, this is pretty crazy that they're showing like this much violence in a Disney a Disney Plus thing. You know what I mean? Even the Avengers, I think the most violent thing we saw was like Thanos got his head cut off, but it was like so quick that
ain't bad.
It wasn't even
decapitation.
We didn't like see the head fall off or anything. You just see like the axe come and then there's no head. I think, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't. But this one,
tastefully done.
You see the arm just snap and just like, oh my God, and like the blood on the shield and stuff too. I mean, it was different. It was different. I liked that aspect of it, that it was a little more mature. You know.
It was cool. It was cool. It wasn't a bad fight.
It wasn't bad.
It was a bad fight.
I didn't mean to rag on it there. There, like you said, there was a Super Soldier Slam that was
Super Soldier Slam.
That was pretty awesome. And then of course the Super Soldier arm break. 1 comes in, 2 arms come in, 1 comes out. You know, that was pretty badass.
Oh, man.
But I don't know.
Awesome. So
Bucky and him, I think there should have been some sort of level of fighting, like how I was saying earlier, with like how Captain America fought the Winter Soldier the first time they fought. There wasn't that level of, like you said, Bucky was just kind of, he was kind of in it.
He's just, his heart's not. It's just like his heart's not into these fights or something. I don't know. So
come on.
So
Bucky.
Anyway,
they end up getting
the shield.
Falcon's wings are ripped off. Like I said, then eventually, though, Walker does go to a hearing. They say, you're not Captain America anymore. Give us the shield, though. He's like, I don't have it.
And
they said you are not dishonorably discharged or something.
Maybe that's what it was. I thought they said, you're lucky you're not dishonorably
No, you're court-martialed. Yeah, you're lucky we're not court-martialing you. Which is basically saying, like, what you could do would get you in jail. Sort of thing.
Yes.
So they did kick him out of the army and everything, though.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool, though, during that, too. He's like, I am doing what you told me to do, what you guys made me do. You trained me to kill people, trained me to kill bad guys. You told me Captain America. I was killing the bad guys. You know, what did you want?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're kind of like, you kind of see his point of view then, too. like what was it, the first or the second episode, second one, he was kind of like smuggy, but in this one you're just like,
Yeah, he
he's like
was.
he's just like a soldier, man. He's just trying to do this thing that they told him to do, to be the most
Yeah.
respected person in the world, and,
Yeah.
and
And then after the hearing, he's out with his like wife out in the hallway, and Elaine from Seinfeld comes in.
yes,
Julia Louise Dreyfus,
that's it.
who is just, what a career she's had, and she's pretty hilarious.
Mm.
And she pretty much plays like the same character coming into this, like just goofy and
yeah. It's, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of
though.
like, yeah, it reminds me of even like characters from like Burn Notice or maybe like Deadpool or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she was like, "I'm Val, but don't call me that. You can think it though." And she gives him like a card with nothing on it, So
yeah.
She even kind of reminded me of like Agatha for some reason. I don't know, just kind of like
She's
this
just goofy.
Yeah, the quirky but authoritative person. I don't know.
But she's obviously a part of some organization.
Yes.
That we're not sure of yet. But she pretty much tells John Walker that, you having the super serum now become very valuable to certain people. So John Walker's ears are perked up here, like, okay. He's like, I just got shit on in this hearing. and so John Walker also goes and talks to Lamar's parents and family, and he is talking to them, and they basically ask him, is it true that the person you killed is the guy who killed our son? And he lies and says yes, and he knows that it wasn't.
No,
he knows he just took it out on that guy, and that guy was a terrorist, was a flag smasher. Again, should he have just like arrested him? Probably, but anyway, he sees how much that meant to Lamar's family. They're like happy that brought them some kind of relief that his killer had been brought down.
Yeah, they even just straight up say it, like, at least we know his killer is got justice.
And you see the look on John Walker's face that he realizes. I don't think he realized how much that was going to mean to them, and now he realizes he didn't really kill their killer. And like, I think he's a moral guy. I think that that bugged the crap out of him, that he didn't really do what brought them peace.
Yeah.
And so to me, it just was like, oh, he's just 100% going to go balls out on Carly Morgenthau now.
Yeah.
When he gets a chance, he's going to pursue her.
And again, can you blame the guy too? I don't think you can. I mean, think about your friend. They get killed by someone,
Yeah, it's his best friend, but it's war too. It's also war.
It's also war. And that's what again, I'll talk about it a little bit more too here, but I mean, Carly Morgenthau, they want you to empathize with her and see her side to some degree too, which I can, but she also blew up a building full of like innocent people, and she's like repeatedly done things that get people killed. So she's bad.
Exactly.
She
is bad. She is bad. And it's been a little confusing. It seems like they try to bring her to make you like her.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But at the end of the episode then, with John Walker, just sort of wrapping him up here, because he doesn't have the real shield anymore. Sam has
Post-credit scene.
Post-credit scene. There's a post-credit scene. He's forging his own shield, like out of metal and stuff. So.
Yeah, and he uses his, is it his Medal of Honor? His Medal of Honor to like the metal there to seal the shield. And it's pretty cool. It's also like that's not going to stop anything, dude. I was also thinking, reminiscent of Iron Man.
Yeah, when he's making his first
hammering it
suit. Yeah, that's what I kind of got the same kind of vibe. Yeah. But anyway, at the end of the fight, though, after they beat John Walker, Bucky, and Sam, Bucky picks up the shield, drops it off on Sam. It's like, don't lose this shit. They go their separate ways. Bucky actually goes to get Zemo. If you remember, he escaped. And they pretty much just tie up that. They're just like, all right, well, Zemo, he's pretty much done from the showdown.
And this scene, I don't know if it hit me the way it was supposed to. Like, it was kind of weird. Like, Bucky showed up, he had the gun pointed at him, and then he dropped all the shells.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I don't know if I get it.
Yeah, I don't get it at all.
I don't know. Okay, you had an empty gun.
Because I think the point was that Zemo was saying, like, you're still the Winter Soldier. You're still super soldier. You were still trained to kill. Look, you can go back to your old ways, sort of thing. Back when he was playing the part of the Winter Soldier during their meeting in Madripoor. And so I guess that was his way of saying, like, look, I'm not. But at the same time, it's like, he never was. Like, he was mind controlled. He was mind controlled. Like, even Zemo knew that. He could say a bunch of random ass words to get hit to control his mind. So, I don't know.
Yeah. So he drops the bullets. Yeah, he drops the bullets, and it just didn't. I think it was like a slow motion drop, like it was supposed to be super emotional, and it missed the mark for me. It
didn't really hit me.
So anyway,
the Dora Milaje.
Wakanda,
the Wakandan Indians.
The Wakandan Indians come through.
Indians.
And they just take him off, and he knows, and he goes with them, and they're taking him to that floating jail.
Yeah, the raft.
The raft.
Yeah. You know what? And I don't understand, because then she's like, well, you better stay out of Wakanda for a while. And I was like, but why? First of all, why are they taking him back to the raft? Because they were upset that he was in their custody instead of theirs, right?
I was confused about that. Are they
Plus
in charge of the raft now?
Let's even back it up here. Why are they upset that he was in another country's jail when Black Panther was the one that caught him at the end of Civil War and prevented him from killing himself, which was his dad that he killed, by the way. And he was the one then who would have arrested him. By the way,
was an amazing moment.
Was an amazing moment.
That was an amazing moment because Black Panther decided not to kill him because
he decided not to act on vengeance.
Amazing moment. But that's you're making a fantastic point here.
This is coming right now. So why was Wakanda upset that the king of Wakanda decided how to give out justice to this guy?
That is a very good point.
All right, so let's just keep going with that though. They were upset then that Bucky broke him out and he wasn't in jail. True. It sounds like they were
like they wanted to use that opportunity to get him under their custody.
Yeah. So why did they get him back to the raft then? Which is outside of their control. And why didn't they just
maybe they control the raft now? I don't know. Yeah. Weird. I was like, they're going to take him to like a high security Wakanda prison.
Yeah.
That like nobody will ever break out of because it's Wakanda.
Yeah.
No, they're going to go to the raft. That people.
That Steve.
It is pretty tough to break out of the raft. What?
Well, you would assume it's tough to break out of, but I mean, Steve literally just broke in like a end of the movie scene in Civil War. We didn't even have to see him do anything. He just walks up and they're just like, all right, well, he breaks everyone out. So I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole bunch of stuff. So that to me, the whole scene was kind of like, what?
Yeah. So okay. So it's like now Bucky and Sam are going off on their own.
It just didn't hit the mark, and there was. Like I said, these were questions I was thinking as I was watching it. So if you're taking me out of the show, right? That's what we always talk about. If you're bringing me out of the show, then you're missing something, right?
Yeah. It was a little weird. Sam and Torres are in a room as well. This is after the fight, and Torres sees Sam's wings destroyed, and as Sam's leaving, Torres is like, "What about your wings? You're gonna fix them?" And he's like, "Nah." He's just not about that anymore. He's like, he takes a shield and he's just going to go back home. He's going to go back to Sarah. He's going to go his sister, and he's going to go help the fam. They're going to go fix up the boat. He's like putting this stuff behind him.
Yeah. And she decides that she can't. Well, actually, that's not yet. They decide let's make it nice before we sell it here, so we get some good money for it.
Right.
And we have
Bucky even
you know,
like shows up again to help.
Yeah, we have a great like fixing up the boat scene. You know, like
It was cool. He gets back there and he's like, "How are we going to do this?" And she's like, "I don't know. How are we going to do this by ourselves?" He's like, "Look, our parents work so hard. You know, all the people that like will help us out. They call around. They get the community together. It's pretty sweet. And they're like trying to get this giant stuff off of a truck. And the guys are like, there's like a few older guys there, and like I don't know, they don't even know where to start. And then all of a sudden, you just hear this voice like, "I got it." It's like Bucky's just like picking him up super easy.
just one arms it down.
One arm, and yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And he drops off this crate to Sam. He's like, "Hey, I just want to give you this." They do a little joke too, where he like, there's this pipe that's leaking air or something. I don't know anything about boats here, people. So so Sam goes over to like fix it, and then you see Bucky coming over, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna wrench it with his arm, his metal arm, and then he uses a wrench and just wrenches it, and he's like, oh, I'm right-handed.
Yeah, he's like, "Why don't you use your arm?" He's like, "I'm right-handed," and he also says, "I don't always think about it right away."
It was kind of funny.
Interesting. Yeah,
and they fix up the boat.
They do. They have a montage scene, and like Sam Wilson's like trying to pry this metal thing off, and Bucky just comes and like rips it off with one hand. I was like, "Why don't you guys start like that? Why don't you guys think about this and use Bucky's arm and strength for maximum efficiency here, people?" Like,
I'd just be pointing him at things like, all right, you needed to use the arm there.
I'm gonna go paint the hull here. You go and do the heavy lifting and stuff, because you have super strength and it'll save us a lot of time and energy.
even without the super soldier strength, if you're like doing a manual labor job, just having a metal arm, even if you, that would be great. First of all, like all the wrenching and stuff you could do, but also you don't have to worry about cutting up your hand and hurting your hand or anything. It'd be so handy.
Be so dude, nice one.
Yeah,
nice one, Steve. Love it.
Also, anyway. Too, Sam has an attractive sister, and Bucky makes note of that. And
he's just so flirtatious. And let's just face it, like Sebastian Stan's a good-looking dude.
Yeah, he's cool.
Good-looking dude.
He's just
he's cool.
Hey.
He's smooth. He's like, and yeah, he's just like, "Hey,
I'm Bucky.
I'm Bucky." Say, hey. All flirty, and she's like, "Hey." And Sam is just like, "Stay away from my sister."
And it's great seeing just the two of them together. They're montaging, fixing the boats, and
I think the whole point of this second half of this episode was just to establish their relationship a little better, a little bonding between them.
Yeah, it was good. I really liked it, even though there's not a lot of things happening. I don't know. It was a good scene, I thought. And after that too, they end up. They have a little game of like frisbee with the shield.
They do.
Around.
They do.
And it was pretty cool here because you saw in the trailer there was like scenes where it looked like maybe Bucky was like mad at Sam when he like catches the shield. But this was actually really good, like heart to heart. And actually, Sam does more for Bucky than all these therapy sessions have.
Yeah,
he's like, "You ready for some tough love? You've been avenging instead of, doing the work and actually apologizing and admitting things to people. And that's what you need to do." And you're just like, all right, damn. Yeah, that is what he needs to do.
Yeah. And I like this scene too, because they're playing catch and they're still like kind of debating a little bit like who should have the shield. When Bucky has it, I think like they're talking about why Sam shouldn't have it, and like they throw it back to Sam, and Bucky tells him like,
Yeah, and one thing they talk about too is just like, I guess we didn't realize that it would be a big thing for a black man having the shield. Oh no, we missed it too earlier. Sam had went back to Isaiah trying to figure out his point of view. Isaiah was the black Captain America from like the Korean War era who had come into contact with Bucky, and he he basically told him like no black man who respects himself should be Captain America.
Yeah.
And that kind of and he was just telling him like, I was in jail, my wife died, and like just how he got screwed over basically by the country because he went out to protect his own men. You know what I mean? He pretty much did the same thing Steve did back in the first Avenger, right? He disobeyed orders. He went, rescued his men. And that's like kind of what kicked off his career. For him, though, got him in a lab rat.
And it got him put in jail for like 30 years as a lab rat. And
so you can see why he's jaded. And then it's just like, what's this mean then to Sam here? But the whole
it's just also just a huge statement, modern, in the real world too.
Yeah. And
face it, they're definitely making a statement here.
Yeah. And how people who do.
And how can you not? How can you not right now?
Yeah.
You can't blame them. But anyway.
And that's when they have their, then they go to the boat though, and they do everything. And I think one of the things they kind of catch with the boat too is that the sister's like, hey, we can't get rid of this. This means too much to mom. And now like the community's involved, like, let's keep it. And he's like, I'm glad you think that, and it's just like, like, even though this boat, it wanted to be sold, like no one, it wasn't useful before. Now it is, and it means something now, even though it meant something in the past, right? Which is kind of like Captain America right now. We need like a Captain America. He meant something in the past, but then he's also conflicting about what Isaiah said to him. Mm-hmm. But he ends up saying like, it doesn't matter what Steve would have done or what he thinks. Like it doesn't matter what anyone thinks because you have to make your own choices. And that's when he
says something like, I'm not going to let all those years of suffering, go to waste.
Yeah. After that, Bucky goes his way then after their little Frisbee montage. And
which in that montage, by the way, Falcon was catching that shield pretty well.
Yeah, they were tossing it easy, like a game of catch. He'd toss it at a tree, it would bounce back to Bucky. It looked easy, looked pretty easy. I was like, let me get in on that.
He was catching super soldier throws.
Yes, super soldier throws. So then he's just like, well, I'm gonna train to be Captain America, I guess. He doesn't say that, but you see him training and he's doing flips and shit with the shield, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool here.
It's an awesome montage.
But like what you brought this up to me is what his accuracy with the shield though. Right now,
it was just all of a sudden he couldn't catch the shield anymore. Like it was like his first time trying.
Yeah, like it's.
And I've talked to people before, and they'll say like, "Well, he was doing flips and he was doing that."
I'm pretty sure his first one
he was doing flips, but he also was just trying to catch it, and he was also like ducking. Like he couldn't. Like it looked like it was impossible for him at first, and I was just like, he was just catching it perfectly a second ago. So that was the only thing that was weird to me. I was like, what? But I don't want to focus on that too much because it was still an awesome Rocky montage scene here. Like just,
I don't think we had like the Captain America building his suit and learning how to use it montage, but we haven't had like any superhero training montages in the MCU.
This is what we wanted in Endgame. That's what we wanted, people.
For Thor,
like Hawkeye, and like Thor. Yeah, Thor needed it. Thor needed to do something like that.
Thor needs a montage.
That's what we wanted. And it's a pretty cool montage. He's running, and the kid asks him like, "How long you go for?" or something. He says, "All day," which that's kind of what Captain America used. That was his line. I can do this all day. So, is that did they do that on purpose? I'm sure they did. I'm sure
they did.
No, I'm sure they did.
The main episode ends then with him opening up the crate that Bucky got him.
You don't see it.
You don't see what's
something else happens.
What?
Yeah. So, we talk about how one of the flaws of the show might be the villains of the show. And this kind of just goes to show because we haven't even talked about them about this episode yet, really, about Carly Morgenthau.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think that's just like they're not the forefront. They're not really that imposing, which is unfortunate. Don't get me wrong. I think what's her name? Erin Kellyman.
Yeah.
Is that it? I think Erin Kellyman is a great actress. I think she plays a really good Carly Morgenthau, and I don't know if it's her or if I think it's just their script was really watered down, their storyline based on the whole not going the pandemic route, which I think they were originally going to go, like a global pandemic route. I think they last minute nixed that and like did totally different storyline.
Yeah.
And I probably took out a lot of the context behind the Flag Smashers. But in this, they somehow get to New York, which they didn't show how that. They're just like in New York all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they break into the
GNC, I think it is.
GNC. This is the global. It's basically what they're doing to take care of the blip, right? The snap.
Yeah. All the half of the population that has returned.
Yeah.
Since the Hulk saved everyone or brought everyone back.
They're basically trying to figure out how to replace people, like put them where they belong, because obviously they in the 6th episode, like the one guy makes a statement like, what do we do for the people who came back and there was another, like somebody else was in their bed,
Yeah.
It's like another, like we could think of social issues all day that happened because of the blip.
Yeah.
And that's one I didn't think of. It's like, well, let's say like someone's husband died and that wife didn't think he was ever coming back, so she got remarried within that 5 years. Then he comes back. It's like, well, geez.
And then for him, it's like instantaneous, right? I mean, we haven't really heard what it's like for the people that have been snapped out, but it seems like for them, it's just they just pick up where they left off. They're not any older or anything.
Yeah. Well, that's what Carly Morgenthau and their whole thing is like. We were here during the blip.
Yeah.
Life got better for us during the blip. And now all you guys are focusing on is how to treat the people who are gone for those 5 years better.
Yeah.
And you're only focusing on them. And now our lives are crap again,
Yeah.
So that's like what they're really upset about. Anyway.
And then, like we said, Sam opens up his chest of treasures. And you just know he's got that Wolverine costume in there.
I know, dude. I know. I was thinking, yeah, I will say I was excited to see it was in the box. I was.
What's in the box?
It's in the box. It's pretty much what I thought it was going to be.
Oh, it was 100%. And it
was like straight from the comics too.
They knew that. So, I mean, the next episode literally picks off with him then going to save the day. Well, actually, it's him going to save the day here. And you pretty much see it pretty much instantly, kind of for a little bit. But then he has to break through a window, and then you see his full get up. And it's
like you see him flying overhead. You see Bucky's also on his way to the thing. And by the way, while Bucky's like going in, somebody taps him on the shoulder, or somebody said something to him. I can't remember what, but they take that really cool mask that we've seen before. I guess it's also been in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That mask Sharon Carter had on. Oh my God, this is contagious. That's weird. I literally, as soon as you sneezed, I started feeling in my nose.
It's a new strand. It's a new strand.
It goes through Zoom calls.
It's like they've evolved. We'll evolve.
Anyway, and Sharon Carter.
We've seen Black Widow use it in Winter Soldier when she was impersonating the senators or something. I don't know. Yeah,
and Sharon Carter is like, "Don't worry, nobody's looking for me." I was like, "Why were you wearing it then?" And why aren't you putting it? Like, why? First, I was like, "Why aren't you putting it back on?" And then she was like, "Don't worry, nobody's looking for me." And I was like, "Why were you even wearing it to begin with then?" Anyway, so
well, again, when Black Widow used it in Winter Soldier, it was like, well, when we were hiding from everyone, why weren't you using it then? When you were on the run with Captain America and you didn't want to be caught.
True.
Why weren't you using it then? So that thing pops up like whenever they just want it to. They're like, let's reveal Sharon Carter here.
I think it was just a nice Easter egg here in this instance.
Probably. Because, I mean, again, we've said how they kind of reference the tone and the feel and different things from the other Captain America movies. So, anywho, so she's there. She's there.
Anyway, so they're doing their storyline, and then Sam busts in Batman style, but actually Captain America style. New Captain America style here. Sam coming in with his suit.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty identical to the one from the comics.
Yeah. I've never read the comics or anything, but when I see like a side by side, I really like the white aspect on it and the blue, and it looks different, but still it has like that like texture kind of feel to it that like Steve Rogers did.
Yep.
And so he fights the bad guys up there. Eventually, like this helicopter gets away, so he has to chase after it too. Bucky gets distracted by a phone call with Carly Morgenthau.
This was confusing to me because like Bucky and Sharon Carter they were in the lobby like, what do we do? Okay, he's like, all right, we'll each go get our person here, right?
Yeah.
I didn't really get who Bucky's person was. Was it Carly? Was he like trying to find Carly, or
I think so?
She was going after some guy she saw go down the stairwell, so she followed him down there. And then I wasn't sure who Bucky was, where he was going. Maybe I just missed it. It was just confusing to me because then later on, Sharon Carter's kind of like, well, no, like you didn't do your one job and get your guy. And I was like, but who was this guy?
Yeah.
Like I didn't get that part. Anyway, so Sharon Carter followed this guy down to the garage, and all of the high like senators and executives of this council are getting put into these armored cars and are going to be basically taken hostage.
Yeah.
And the Flag Smashers had come in and kind of like put gas in the room and kind of like herded them out to the cars like sheep. Like they kind of like, they ran out there, they put them in the cars, and they put these things on that like super locks it.
Yeah.
It's got,
like, and at first too, I was like, is that a bomb?
I thought it was a bomb. Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess it was just a lock. But, and again too, I don't know why I'm overthinking these things, I guess, but I was like, maybe it's just because I couldn't tell if it was a bomb or a lock. And then I started to think, you know, as I was thinking, is that a bomb or a lock? And I was thinking, where did they get that high tech stuff? You know what I mean? When they're obviously, we find out that, you know, apparently the internet sniffed this out, that Sharon is the power broker.
Right.
That's something we end up finding out at the end of when she comes into contact with Carly here. And so it's like, well, and it makes it clear, though, that she hasn't been working for her, that she used to work for her, but ever since she went to the Flag Smashers, that she hasn't been. And that's kind of like why she Sharon has been trying to like clean house then.
And again, I think this whole storyline was supposed to be a little bit more ironed out. I think Carly Morgenthau was supposed to have like gone to Madripoor and was working with Sharon Carter until she saw an opportunity to steal vaccines for some kind of pandemic.
Yeah.
Then came upon the super soldier serum, and then I think that's how that story was supposed to develop. And I think
they were made super soldiers to work for Sharon, is what I think it was.
Okay.
So they were like her muscle, and then probably what you said though probably is what might have happened though. How she might have saw an opportunity for vaccines through her power,
right,
and to help the people that she identifies with in that. So
and Mama Danya would have made more sense because again they had like a high profile actress come in and play her
as a corpse,
like not in it at all. It was like not in it at all. So it definitely feels like they had to switch things up last minute.
Yeah. But anyway, though, so where did they get this high-tech stuff from? Was it left over from when they had got it from the power broker, Sharon Carter? I don't know, but I don't know. That was something else, though. Maybe because it was, I think it just came out of, I couldn't tell if it was a bomb or a lock. And literally, Tay and I was like, is that a bomb or a lock? So then I think I overthought it from there.
Yeah.
It was really high-tech, though. Anyway,
like
they drive those people away.
And Carly and Bucky are on the phone.
Yeah.
And Bucky's like looking around, and Carly says like something like, "Have you ever even fought for anything bigger than yourself?" I was like, the nerve.
What? Like what?
It's like Bucky was like that's all I've ever done. Like,
yeah. I was like, have you seen Iron Man 1?
Yeah. Have you seen Civil War? Have you seen Infinity War? This dude fought Thanos. He fought Thanos.
He thought Nazis, first of all, real Nazis, like
Yes.
the first Nazis, the real Nazis. He fought them. And like the super Nazis, Hydra, they were like the super Nazis. He fought those guys. And then he fought Thanos. Twice.
Have you ever fought anything bigger than yourself? If I was Bucky, I'd just be like, hang up. I'm done with that. I am like, I'm not even no guy.
Oh yeah, just a sigh.
Just like, what the heck? So anyway, but I think she was just trying to antagonize him and keep him on the phone long enough to distract him, because she's like, thank you for taking my call, and then ran away. And I just like didn't really get it. Like I was like, what did
she was like, thank you for your time or something. And yeah, like what you said, it was clearly it was supposed to be distracting him. But from what?
And he kind of was like, he was kind of like, darn, like she got me.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I was like, I don't get that.
Yeah, I didn't understand. There might be some reasonable thing. Maybe he was supposed to get the guy who went to the garage, the parking garage.
I thought that was Sharon's guy.
That's what I thought too. I don't know.
Because she was following him and she ended up getting him.
Yeah. And she got him too late though. So I don't, I have no idea.
Yeah. So that scene was a little convoluted.
Meanwhile, Sam is fighting George St. Pierre, whose character I can never remember.
He got brought back in.
But he was from the beginning that Sam ended up rescuing the hostage from. He was from Captain America, Winter Soldier. They have a fight, and Sam ends up leaving to go chase after this helicopter with other hostages in it. And there's a pretty sweet flying chase thing, and it's pretty cool too. Cool. He's got the shield and the wings, like that's like two powers, like the shield and the hammer, right? You got two powers going on.
I will say though, this one looked pretty good.
Yeah,
I like the effects in this one were good compared to back in the truck scene where it did not look good when he was flying.
Yeah,
this looked pretty good.
Yeah. He ends up keeps trying to mess with this helicopter. He keeps getting shot and having to fly back and stuff, and eventually he does save the people inside, though. He ends up using Red Wing. Comes back.
Yeah,
he's back. Woo! Woo! And he ends up doing a little distracting thing, and he tells the woman in there, he sees that she has flight training, so he like contacts her and like, hey, like step in on one and take the controls. But he counted down, and he got the guy out, tackled him, and like he had already counted down past one at this point before the girl stuff. And I was like, weren't you listening?
I know. Now, he's also must have some kind of like Iron Man technology where he can like text her, put your earbud in, and then talk to her. It was just like, dang, you got like some high tech gear here.
Yeah, now he has like all the tech America. Too. I've noticed that too. Like we see later, there's like this smoke grenade that goes off, and he's just like, "Oh, I'll just use my thermal vision." It's like, what? Really? But apparently, that's what Bucky brought him, was a new.
Well, did he have that in his old suit? He might have.
I don't know.
I guess I don't know enough. But
maybe.
But anyway, he was contacting people like nuts. And
he's kind of Iron Man and Captain America now at the same time. Kind of.
And still like Falcon.
Flying Batman. He's Falcon in Captain America.
And meanwhile, Bucky goes and confronts the Flag Smashers with the trucks. Because they're going and
he does a pretty cool thing with the motorcycle too. He kind of like just jumps off and tackles this dude. It's pretty badass.
That was awesome. So he's got an awesome motorcycle scene where he's just riding it, and then there's like a barrier, and he just doesn't slow down. It was pretty sweet.
That's pretty badass.
Tackles him. I like that.
And I think he might be fighting off multiple ones here, and he's holding his own.
Yeah. Yeah, again, he's doing okay here.
It's technically crazy cool looking, but it's like, all right, at least Bucky's not being a bitch here.
Yeah, and Carly realizes that he's like being pretty badass, and she's like, "Oh, we need to distract him." So they go and they're going to blow up one of the cars.
Yeah, she even says he needs someone to save to distract him.
Yeah, he needs someone to save.
Like you, she's evil at this point. She's like, let's torture people so he will leave
She's
us
gonna do
alone.
anything for her cause. She's gonna do anything for her cause.
She even,
You know?
I remember even her. It was funny when she's like we don't need the hostages anymore. Like we can kill them all, and even if we die, like our cause
Yeah.
will live on. And her friends are like, what?
What? That's right. She does have that scene. Yeah, they're all kind of like, what? Anyway, Bucky ends up, he's fighting, he saves the people. He does use the arm to rip that thing off. You know, pretty cool. Look, I want him to punch someone's face off with that arm. That's what I want. Okay. I don't want him just, using it to fix a ship in
When he was
it
wailing
was cool
on
that he
Cap with
took
that
thing off.
at the end of Winter Soldier, right? When he was wailing on his face with that metal
Yeah.
arm. Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
what I wanted. And it would be vibranium, so you'd imagine it would probably even hurt worse. Indestructible metal.
Totally. So anyway, he's fighting. He saves the people, and then
Old Captain America shows up.
middle Captain America.
Middle Captain America.
Yeah,
Third Captain America, I guess.
but Isaiah was Battlestar, so it's technically not Captain America.
All right.
All right, so third,
And,
second
all right.
Captain America. Second.
Yeah, second.
Well, then again, we did meet a Captain America from another timeline, so third Captain America.
Ex-Captain America?
Well, that would be second ex-Captain America.
Super Soldier Slam!
John Walker comes up because he's ready to kick the crap out of Carly Morgenthau at the Super Soldier Slam.
Super Soldier Slam! This is the rematch you've all been waiting for this summer.
Oh, by the way, we missed a part in the beginning Falcon scene, and this was kind of dumb in my opinion, where he's going after some of the flag smashers in the building, the GNC building or whatever, or GRC, I can't remember. And he's going after, and someone throws a chair, and he throws the shield, and they just like negate each other.
Oh, that's right. George Sampieri throws the shield.
No. Unless that chair is made out of vibranium. Okay, you tell me that chair is made out of vibranium, I'll give you that. But I was kind of like, that shield should like obliterate that chair.
Yes.
It was just kind of like, ding.
Yeah, it wouldn't even slow it down because the vibranium's supposed to redistribute whatever force hits it or something, and it changes all the time. The physics of vibranium, because like if that were the case, though, it wouldn't be able to bounce back. But anyway,
it's just kind of like that's dumb. I thought I was like, that's
dumb. A wooden chair stops the shield.
Anyway, so Walker's got his new shield, and he's
metal.
throwing it around. It's metal, and he throws in. Carly Morgenthau does a pretty sweet kick.
Yeah,
like kicks it away, and it doesn't hurt at all because it's vibranium. If that was vibranium, it probably would have hurt her toe.
Yeah, probably would have hurt the toe.
And it'd been like, ah.
But it was like aluminum.
It was like aluminum. It was tinfoil.
Ding. Like the things that you buy like a pre-made lasagna in. It's like the bottom of that.
Yeah, exactly. No, but anyway, so he's got this new metal shield, and he comes into the fight ready to kick some Carly Morgenthau butt. But again, she's pretty good. And they're fighting. And what is it? Bucky got kicked off, I think, by Carly Morgenthau.
Him and another super soldier, I think,
one.
kind of tackle each other off the side of a building. And then they have a pretty cool fight.
Yeah, but he lands. So, by the way, he does the same scream when he falls as he did when he fell out of the train.
Oh, he does?
I don't know if you saw that. Yeah. But this time he like lands with his arm.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be symbolism. I don't think it was so powerful as I meant it to be, but it's supposed to show like now he can like land that fall.
Yeah.
Even though that fall was about 1% of the fall he took in Captain America. So
That was a high fall from a train.
Yeah. And he gets to the bottom, and one of the trucks with the people in it is getting pushed over the side.
Yeah, Carly Morgenthau like drives it and jumps out.
Yeah.
And John was like, he got teamed up on, and he's kind of like getting kicked on the ground. And he like looked at that Medal of Honor too, like on the back.
Yeah, he did.
To like kind of get himself motivated though.
Yeah, I was kind of actually like, let's go, John. I want to see you go off right here.
I was not upset with anything he was doing this whole episode, honestly. Yeah. I was like, he hasn't... The only thing, again, that he's done is he bludgeoned a defenseless man to death in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah, and he was kind of annoying in the beginning. He's
being
annoying. A pain in the butt.
I can be annoying. I sometimes.
He was getting in their way, but I guess we don't really see it from his perspective a whole lot. Bucky's at the bottom, and this truck is going to fall, and Bucky can't do anything because he's weak and helpless. And
I thought he was going to try and catch it at first. I was like,
Me too.
I was like, that's going to hurt. Maybe. I don't know.
Super soldier with an arm? Come on.
But I mean, that's still like a lot falling on you. I don't know.
It is, but it's
you probably could have done.
Anyway, it's Falcon who is the one to come in.
Well, also too, John actually like he has a choice between like going after Carly or
that's right,
trying to stop the truck. And I was like, he's gonna go for her, but he doesn't. He goes for the truck.
Oh,
and he tries to hold the truck up. He makes the right choice. And again, I'm just like, I don't hate this guy right now.
I like that moment because I could without the show putting it in, I could hear Lamar's voice saying like, "You always make the right choices in battle."
Yeah.
I could hear that in my head watching it. So I actually really liked that moment.
I did too. And then he did it. He ended up doing the right thing. And then the Flag Smasher started like ganging up on him so that the truck would fall. And then, Falcon comes in and he catches it.
And again, it's pretty much the wings because he's not that strong.
Well, still though, even though the wings are doing the work, he does this thing where he like moves it from like above his head to like below. I was like, but how? Because you're not super strong.
I know.
And I'm saying like him pushing on it with the wings. Okay, it makes sense to me. He caught it.
He put his thrusters on.
But like to actually like move it from, maybe I'm getting lost in the weeds again here, people. I don't know. But then he brings.
But
it
I thought the same thing because the only power to bring that up would have to come from the wings.
Yeah,
he's not Magnus Samuelson here.
No,
and without he doesn't have any lower extremity. Like that's all arms. He has no traction with lower extremities, which would be like your only hope at even budging that thing.
Maybe like Ivar from Vikings, could do this. I don't know.
Yeah, Ivar from Vikings could probably do it.
Yeah,
he scaled a mountain
just with his arms.
No, but let's we won't get too into it. We probably already did, but it's pretty sweet. Falcon comes in, saves the day again. It's really kind of turned into his episode. It's been
I'm glad that they are really developing his character and that they're not, it wasn't just an easy like, all right, now you're Captain America sort of thing. Like he's had to go through some trials and tribulations to get here, and he's learned things to be better. And he was already a good guy before, right? He was already basically ready to be Captain America in a way. But now he's had more factors that has to question his morals and his virtues and everything. So it was cool that he's the one coming in saving this. And he's bringing up, and then some guy's like, "That's Black Falcon," and another guy's like, "No, that's Captain America." And I was like, "That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet."
That was a cool line. Cool moment. Yeah, and they kind of have Falcon come in and save the day. They get him, and then there's the scene with Carly Morgenthau, chasing her down, and that's when we get that scene with Sharon Carter.
Yeah, she reveals herself to be the power broker, which apparently a lot of people on the internet were like, as soon as they saw her like making the call, I didn't pick up on this at all. I was just like, power broker. again, there's so many like villains in this, right? There's the power broker we hear about.
Yeah.
There's the flag smashers. There was John Walker for a period of time. I never knew like who to focus on as the big baddie. And
Yeah. I was getting a vibe though that Sharon Carter was sort of bad.
well, yeah,
so,
we definitely knew there was something going on when she made that call, you know.
Right.
But anyway, here, yeah, she's like, I'm the power broker and blah blah blah. And she ends up then pulling a gun on Carly, and then she ends up getting shot though, and then Sam comes in and fights her. Well, he doesn't even fight her. He's just like, no, don't. And he's like, I'm not gonna fight you for whatever reason.
Yeah.
For reasons.
Whatever.
He just, I don't know. He just like protects himself with the shield and stuff, and she just keeps coming at him. And then Sharon ends up shooting her and killing her. Again, I was just like, I get that he recognizes that she has a reason why she's fighting, right? And I like that they're like, all right, look at both sides of the story, which was kind of like the same thing with WandaVision. That was kind of that was the big message that show had, right?
Yeah.
And that's what his message is here. That's why he's like, look at both sides of the story here, But again, she's been killing innocent people, and that's been her whole thing, was she was going to kill a truckload of innocent people. You know what I mean? Are they maybe dirty, self-interested politicians? Yeah. But there's still someone's mom, dad, sister, brother. You know what I mean? And she's going to drive them off of a building. She's setting another one on fire. She's blew up a whole building. She's a bad guy at the end of the day. Yeah. She's just not as evil looking as the Joker.
and Sam like holds her in his arms while she dies. Very emotional, and he carries her out with her wounds to get her help, to try to like get her help. And Sharon Carden's just sitting there back in the room with her gut wound. Just like, what the hell? I saved your life.
I guess I'll limp down to the ambulance.
Oh my god! And
he carries her down like an angel, just
like an angel.
This is a sweet shot. But she was like dead, and he's like, "Get her to the ambulance." I was like, "She's dead. She's super dead. She was shot twice."
Sharon Carter is bleeding out upstairs, like the one who needs emergency medical attention.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, she's a bad guy, but he doesn't know that. He thinks she's Sharon Carter.
But here's the thing. So that's what I justified it as. Like, Sharon Carter needs to stay hidden right now because she's not supposed to. But then at the end, when they go up to her, she's just sitting there in front of everybody. And they're just like, well, you better get to a hospital. And she's like, haha, I sure should. And like, it's like, so you're going to go to hospital anyway?
Yeah, she was right next to all the cameras, all the police.
Yeah.
The ambulances, like, she wasn't hiding in any way.
Yeah, it'd been one thing if like her people came in and picked her up and like treated her that way, but like it wasn't like that. She just like went down to public and
she just had a limp.
I should go to a hospital.
She had a limp down from this building or come out of this basement or something, with a gut wound.
So anyway, they get to Sam comes out after that, and people are trying to talk to him and everything, and he gives a speech. It was about 4 minutes long.
With the
which is
the GNC people were there too. Is what it was. They were like, "Oh, she's a terrorist and she's done," and we're going to get right back on this. And that's when he goes into the speech then about, we have to see both sides of the story. He says like, you can't keep calling her a terrorist. Like you're dehumanizing her.
You can't keep using these. Exactly.
You're using labels to dehumanize people so you can keep doing what you want, and I think that was a really good message, because I think there's a lot of people who would be like, yeah, don't use labels to dehumanize people. And then they use labels to dehumanize a different group of people. And it's like, you're doing the same thing.
Exactly.
So I liked that message that he was sending there. But at the same time,
and he pretty much makes the point. He's like, well, why was she doing? Like, you guys don't even stop to think about why she was doing what she was doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's like, you guys, and he pretty much tells them to figure it out and consider like why she was doing that.
and he doesn't say just, all right, well, just give in to the flag smashers' demands.
No.
He's like, because then what you said, the senator, he's like, well, what about the people who are coming back and there's someone in their home? You know what I mean? What are we doing for those people though? And he's like, are we supposed to just tell them they're homeless now? And he's like, no, but think of something better, you know?
Yeah, but they also, like, the senator argues, he's like, do you even understand how complicated this issue is?
Yeah.
Which I also can see. It's like there's not going to be one easy answer for it all.
No.
Like,
yeah,
unfortunately, somebody's going to get the shaft, you know?
Yeah. And his comeback was, though, like, is it just politicians like you in there? Or, like, are you actually getting people who are being affected in the room to talk to?
Exactly.
Which was another valid point.
Generally,
I like the speech. And I like that he's like, I'm Captain America. I'm not the blonde hair, blue eyes, super soldier, super serum dude. But I'm here doing the best I can. And I know that some of the fans are going to hate me. He doesn't say that, but he says some people are going to hate me. But I'm doing it anyways, and because that's what I want to do, and it's the right thing to do. And
and he just happened to be standing just close enough to a microphone that this was getting broadcasted to the whole world.
I know.
But anyway,
and it was like, so at the same time, it was like they needed to like show his moment here with his speech. So people could see like, oh, this is Captain America. Like, so the rest of the world would know, right? But at the same time, I was just like, he's still speaking naturally, and then all these reporters are around, and they're debating like this. Like in reality, would a politician debate the superhero in public? He'd just be like, oh, thank you. Yeah, we'll take that into consideration. Like they would just so they would be so non-committal in public, right?
I'll say this about this part is I agree with everything Sam said. I liked it. It was powerful stuff that he was talking about, but I thought it went on a little bit long. I thought 4 minutes for a speech like that and a dialogue was a little bit long. And it got to a point probably like 2 or 3 minutes into his speech. I was just kind of like, all right, next scene. Like
I was thinking the same thing. I liked
not that, like, again, I liked what he said and everything. And there's a lot to say. Let's face it. There's a lot to say, even, and obviously it's a pretty blatant message to the real world as well. Things that he's saying. And there's things that need to be said. And obviously the people who made the show are kind of using their platform to send a message. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. But when you actually have a superhero pretty much just talking to, he's literally talking to the camera right now. And that was one thing I was just kind of like, he's giving a monologue now,
Exactly. I mean, the sign of a great movie, a great show, is that you forget you're watching a show, right? And that was the moment in this episode that I just like, it took me like, oh, wait, I'm on my couch. It kind of took me out of it.
It was a minute or two too long.
It was just too long. If they could have like condensed that into just a little bit shorter, I think it would have flowed better. Anyway, what he said though was good.
Yeah, and Captain America's speeches, Steve Rogers, were always fairly quick. I doubt any of them lasted a minute.
Yeah, I think the longest one he did, Sam even like had a comment after it. Like
did you
something like
think of that all on your own,
off the top of your head?
Yeah, or did you rehearse that or come off the top of your head? Yeah, that's from Winter Soldier, I think, when he was just like, freedom is something awesome. I'm not going to butcher it here. Freedom is awesome.
Yeah, freedom and stuff.
Super Soldier Slam this
America. Summer. Freedom, bro.
Freedom, bro. Come on, guys. Freedom.
Great speech.
It was great.
Anyway, so Falcon had his moment. Captain America, new Captain America, Sam Wilson had his moment. By the way, somebody said, "Is it Captain Falcon?" in the crowd when he coming up.
Yeah, is it Captain Falcon now, or Falcon Captain
America?
Is it?
It's Captain America, and now all the rumors about Captain America 4 are coming out with Sam Wilson being him.
Yeah,
movie. So that's pretty crazy.
And I think they keep saying the same writer and
the
creator
same writer
are going to be attached to it. So I mean, I'm down with that. I think I think this would have made a good movie. I don't
By
think
the way,
it really needed to be a show.
Earlier with the wings, when they were broken,
Yeah.
Apparently, Torres in the comics becomes New Falcon. He becomes the New Falcon.
We think we talked about that in our first one. So I'm pretty sure that.
So he has his wings now.
He'll be
keep
Falcon.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll be New Falcon. So they'll have two Falcons. Right. One's Captain America, but he's still like Falcon, and then another one who is Falcon, flying together in the sky,
falconing around. A couple of Falkers.
Yeah, and War Machine's still around. He can fly with them.
Oh yeah, so many people just flying around.
And
Bucky will just be taking his motorcycle around, try to catch up.
Yeah, Wonder Woman can fly now.
Wonder Woman can fly.
Anyway,
those
except her flying looks stupid.
It does.
Everybody else flying looks cool.
Everyone else is flying. Everyone else is flying. Is gonna be all right. Anywho, though, like we said, speech went on a little too long. I liked it though. And they'd show like Isaiah was just kind of like, oh, that was some good stuff there, you know. And they end up then going to Bucky, he going to make amends with the old man, kind of like how we talked about at the end of the last episode, that he was going to, as soon as he said, you have to put in the work. You can't just go around avenging. This is what's going to make your conscience clear, is doing
and
this.
He had like befriended this guy, which is what made it so hard to tell him that he had killed his son.
Yeah. So I'm just like, this is going to be a crazy good scene, because Bucky scenes have been pretty good. Yeah. Even though like his scene in Wakanda that we saw was so brief, it was really well done.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah.
And but I was like, all right, here we come. This is going to be a great moment. He goes to him, he opens the door, and then he tells him, he sees the picture, basically a shrine of his son, the man's son. And then he sits down, and he's like, your son was killed by the Winter Soldier. That was me. And that's the end of the scene. Just like, what? Like, what? Like, I wanted to be crying my eyes out. And I was just like, it's done. They just like breezed by. They were just like, oh, here we go. And then they show he sent his book to his therapist, who he should have sent his book to like Sam, because Sam was the one that like actually helped him for this last one.
I know.
So anyway though, and it was Steve's book. So you're just getting rid of Steve's book now too? What are you doing?
Well, there's so many other pages for like sketches and to-do lists, and
he's gonna sell that on eBay for like so much money. So much.
I know. Anyway.
But anyway, I just did not like that they just breezed through that scene. I did not like it at all. And I'm not saying take away from Sam at all. His scenes needed to happen and were important and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could have trimmed up that speech, a minute or two. And let's take that minute or two and put it on this emotional scene that you set up in the very first episode between him and this old man, whose son he killed. You breeze through it. It was like, I was like ready for it. I was like, come on, get my emotions going.
Yes.
Make me cry. And then it was like, done.
Yeah, it didn't hit me super hard either.
I was blue-eyed. They blue-eyed me,
Yeah.
I wanted something out of my eyes, and nothing came.
Nice. Anyway, so at the end here, Sam went and got Isaiah Bradley, and he brings him to the Captain America Museum exhibit, I should say. So anyway, they're going through. They got all their awesome Captain America display, and Isaiah Bradley's like, "What? I don't want to see this. This is the guy that got all the glory. I did the same thing, and I got put in jail." And Sam brings him into a new room, and it is the Isaiah Bradley room, and he's got a statue. It's a Battlestar room,
Yeah.
Tells his history, just like Bucky's is told, just like Steve Rogers is told, and Sam says something like, well, first of all, Isaiah Bradley and his son, I think Eli, they just take a lap around the room, just soaking it in, and I'm waiting because Isaiah Bradley has just been a total grump this whole So I was almost expecting him to like come up to Sam and be like, "This ain't shit." Like, this don't mean.
I was kind of expecting that too.
But he comes up to him. Just it meant so much to him. He like shakes his hand, and it was pretty like that.
He gives him a hug too. He gives him a hug.
That hit me.
Now that one just about got the eyes going, but I wasn't ready for it. If I watch it again, I probably will get me.
And Sam says something like, now everyone will always remember what you did for this country.
Yeah.
So that hit me, man. That hit me.
That was cool. I really like that. And this, he wasn't even this was a character from the comics too. It's been around for years too. So like it wasn't even something they just tacked on to make a point about Sam being a black superhero coming in. This is something that they've tied in through the comics and stuff too. And it was really cool that they did then. They make it now, it's a part of the MCU and part of this Captain America exhibit in the museum and stuff. And it was pretty sweet. And and I guess now he doesn't have to hide too, is something, you know what I mean? Because that was part of it too, is he escaped, right? He escaped from that government facility. I would have liked to have seen like some of his like super soldier costumes and stuff though too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd been cool.
Like his statue was just him in his like normal army uniform. I would have really loved to have like seen him as like in his Captain America uniform. Yeah, Battlestar, I guess. That would have been cool to see. Maybe they just didn't want to do that because maybe they will do that. They just want to have the right actor or something for a younger version. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was one thing I was like, come on, like let's get it cool pictures in here, man. Anyway, though, and then we see Val is waiting on Walker to come out of the changing room here, and we've all been there, right? When you're a kid and you're shopping with your mom and your sister for school clothes, and you're just waiting for your sister to come out. You're just like, I just want to go home. I hate shopping. We've all been there.
I've been there.
She takes forever to change.
It's the worst.
And then that's what he's in there. He's in the changing room, and Val's like, what's taking him so long? And his wife's like, it's the crotch. It's too fucking small for that man's cock.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus Christ.
John Walker eventually comes out and he's wearing a black version of his suit. And he's like, yeah, it's the same. And he's like, but she's like, yeah, but it's a little different. And he's like, it's just black. And she's like, but you're going to be U.S. agent, not Captain America.
Right.
So there we go.
And he's happy about it. He loves the suit. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
And I think we just end with like Cap and Bucky having like a little cookout and stuff like that. And that's the end of the show.
That's it. And there we have the Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 1.
Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Captain America.
It changes. It changes at the end. The title. But anyway, the name changes, and you're like, oh, okay. So maybe there will be another season, or I don't know. But
yeah. Or it's just going to go into the next movie, the Captain America 4, if that's true. We'll see. Anyway, again, the show was good. To me, it wasn't amazing. It was solid. Don't know if I'll rewatch it. Maybe, but in the future I will. I don't feel like there was also
comes out. I
would definitely watch another season. I would watch another season. Definitely.
No, I mean, if another season comes out, I'll probably rewatch this one. Just if.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I don't think I'll even really. In that case, I don't know if I'll even need to though, because I mean, I pretty much know who becomes who and what happens. So I mean, and there's nothing super amazing, like we said, that stood out. And
there was nothing. There was very few things that were super duper memorable that are going to stick with me for a long time. I'll say that. One thing that will, tracing back to the beginning, is that a couple things that'll stick with me from this show, and a couple Bucky things. I mean, obviously, all the Captain America stuff with Falcon was amazing. Him becoming Captain America, that's going to be one of the most memorable things. But the Wakanda scene with Bucky was very memorable, and his flashback scene as Winter Soldier was awesome. So those are a couple things I'll remember.
Yeah, the opening Falcon scene, and then his Captain America stuff, and then like what you said, Bucky. Those few moments with Bucky being good, and some of Zemo. I really like Zemo, but again,
Zemo had a strong outing in this show.
He kind of he kind of fills it out, and he actually
did.
One thing I guess we did miss is he ended up blowing up the truck of super soldiers that the leftover of Carly Morgenthal's people.
It was his like butler guy in the chair. I was like, who? I forgot what he looked like, and I was like,
I forgot for a second.
Who is this guy? I was like, are we supposed to know him from something? And
they cut to him in his cell, and they're like, oh, that's right, it was his butler. His Alfred blew them up.
Yep.
And then also too, Sharon Carter gets her job back. She's pardoned, and she's like, "Sure, that's great." Ooh,
yeah. She's like, now she calls somebody's like, "We might not have the super soldiers now, but we have access to all this high government tech and stuff like that." And it's
so she's gonna be bad.
So that's bad.
That's bad.
Anyway,
but, so. That's where we leave off as far as with everything then. I didn't hate it, but there was just no definitive villain. Like we said, we had Zemo kind of come in, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna be the one, and then no. And then the whole time Carly Morgenthau, even though she's killing people, they still try to make you empathize with her. And then she's not really someone that they have to fight at the end, and it was like, oh, John Walker's going to become this big bad guy at the end, and it's like, no, he turns good at the end. He's still good, he had like a day of being bad, and so I mean, I think that's one thing. You just didn't have a clear villain to be like, all right, this is going to be the payoff for the end here. Yep. Like I said, just as far as the fights go, some of them were cool, and then like that second episode, the truck fight and the effects for it were just pretty or if not bad. Yeah, and I'd say I generally liked it. I gave it like a C+. I think I did, and you gave it a B. Yeah, it was a 7.8. Is what I gave. Okay, that's a C+. Oh yeah, C+. That's C+. For breasts, that's good, but for ranking, it's for ranking, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Yeah. But anyway, though, let us know what you thought about the show. Tell us what your favorite moments from the show, and what was your favorite episode. What are you excited for? And as always, leave a comment, like, subscribe, share, and turn on those notifications, but make it silent on your phone so it doesn't take you out of the real world. But make sure you get your tickets for Super Soldier Slam this Super Soldier Slam. We're gonna have another year of Super Soldier Slam. Don't you be ready? Take your kids there, wives there. Woo! 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 Woo!